So what I want to do now is move on to the next team, which I'm going to hand over now to Daniela. And she's going to tell us a little bit, I'm guessing, about the IChemE, and then Sajalou's going to tell us a bit about AAK. So I'll hand over to Daniela now. Thank you.
So thank you very much, Kirsty, for the invitation, and the WiME team for the organization of this event. I'm here today. My name is Daniela de Sousa Parisi, and I'm here today with Sajalou Dahal. We're both chemical engineers. We're both members of the Institution of Chemical Engineers, and we're both volunteers of the local IChemE Holland Humber member groups. And we're going to talk about a little bit what chemical engineering is, what IChemE does support us as well in our career progression, and a little bit about our roles and how did we become chemical engineers as well. So first of all, what is chemical engineering? Chemical engineering is one of the most broadly based engineering disciplines concerned with the design and operation of industrial chemical plants. So a chemical engineer is involved in converting raw materials and intermediate chemicals into more useful forms, which means we are involved in the design, we are involved in optimization and operations of systems and equipment that are used in the chemical, industrial, biological, and environmental processes. And that's why it's called biochemical engineering as well, or process engineering. So chemical engineers produce a range of materials or things we rely on every day, from fuels and fertilizers to processed foods, beer and wine, polymers, pharmaceuticals, and so on. And we play an important role developing processes and products that are energy efficient, environmentally friendly, and make industries safer. So it is a highly practical career or degree, and as chemical engineers we apply the principles of maths and science, that is chemistry and physics, and more chemistry, biology, and physics to solve problems. So chemical engineers work all over the world in industries such as energy, which covers oil and gas, and nuclear, petrochemicals, as well, health and well-being, pharmaceuticals. Then we go food and drink, water industry, and so on. Now, as a chemical engineer, you could find yourself working on different activities. So you could do design and developing of chemical processes and equipment. You could work in plant operations and management. So, for example, I'm in the design role and development, or Saj is working in plant operations and management. We've got manufacturing and production, environmental management, risk management. Even you can work on research and development, finance, and so forth. So this is this particular case that we show here is on the IChemE website, and it's based upon the number of members in the IChemE. But the main thing is it has a very, very wide variety of options that you can go for. So how do you become a chemical engineer? There are a number of routes, where the most common one for us is to do a university course, and that start for us doing some GCSEs, A levels, and then we go to the university to do a bachelor's degree, and then you can progress forward to do a master's degree or a PhD level if you decide to move forward. I personally did an international bachelor, which is a similar thing, so I didn't do A levels, but this is a typical route. So there are many universities in the UK and around the world that offer chemical process or biochemical engineering, and there are different names, obviously, for different courses offered by different universities, which are maybe reflected some of the modules they offer, but the core principles of chemical engineer are the same as well. So you can also do a foundation year, which if you feel your maths or chemistry are not so strong, you can get an extra year before you do your chemical engineering qualification to build your skills. Now, you can do your bachelor's degree and go to work directly. And there are also further studying options as a master's degree or a PhD or an engineering doctorate, which are optional, but depends on the level of work you would like to be doing. Now, in terms of what levels of GCSE degrees and A levels you need, typically, and you can find that information in the National Career Service, is between 4 or 5 GCSEs at grades 9 to 4, or A to C equivalent, including English, maths, and science. And normally it tends to be an average between 2 to 3 A levels or equivalent, including chemistry. So it is a very demanding course, and universities look for, well, technical, academically bright people or people that are really keen to develop the science part of their progression for in comparison to other university courses. The apprenticeship route is also there. It takes longer than expected, and it's obviously recommended to, to become a chemical engineer, you get a degree at some point in time. There are different routes and options if you go for the apprenticeship course, but it tends to take around 1 to 5 years to complete, depending on their level. I didn't do an apprenticeship route, and I think and Sash didn't do as well, but that's an option that I know some universities and industry are working together to develop more chemical engineering apprenticeship programs as well. So what is the Institution of Chemical Engineers? It's a registered charity organization, and it's a global professional membership organization for people with relevant experience and interest in chemical, biochemical, and process engineering. So they support the development of chemical engineering professionals and provide connections to a powerful network of 35,000 members in more than 100 countries. So the institution have a big network community that promote competence and commitment to the best practice. They organize a variety of technical, practical, and social events. They encourage young people in science and engineering and support the professional development of its members. So the IChemE members can be found in a wide variety of industries and sectors. There are different stages of their careers as well. So you can become part of the IChemE whilst you are a student at the university. And that's something that, you can keep your career path and grow and being a member of the IChemE. But the members play a key role in the governance of the IChemE. So the IChemE is led by the members, are supported by members, and serves the society. What are the benefits of being part of the Institution of Chemical Engineers? They offer us a lot of support and a lot of opportunities to develop our career progression as well. So they help us and provide us guidance to become chartered. So become a chartered engineer is recognizing that your degree, academic degree, is suitable to develop your skills in the industry as well. It helps us to, the fact of becoming chartered, it helps to stepping into a new role, increase salary payments and things like that. It gives you a lot of opportunities as well. They helps us to develop professional skills, which may not be available in your immediate role. So the IChemE offers coaching and mentoring opportunities. So people that really need to keep progressing in the industry. Sometimes you might work in an industry that there are no other chemical engineers. You need support from peers and colleagues that are working in other industries. IChemE can build up that bridge to get some mentoring opportunities, and further the qualifications as well. So they provide a diverse training opportunities to support the continuous professional development as well of the chemical engineers and the members. A lot of webinars, a lot of events organized as well. So keep trying to encourage people to participate as much as possible. So I'm going to quickly talk about myself and my career path. As I say, my name is Daniela de Souza Parisi. My name is Daniela, the rest is my last name. And I am a chemical engineer working in consultancy for the energy sector. I'm from Portuguese and Italian families, but I was born and raised in Venezuela, South America. And I was attracted to become a chemical engineer and specialize in the energy sector because of the wide range of opportunities the career provides. I decided to study my bachelor's degree. So I did my bachelor's degree in chemical engineering at the Central University of Venezuela. And after I finished my degree, I started working as a process engineer in a consultancy company, working on a project for the design of a methanol plant back there. After working for 2 years in the industry, I moved to Portugal to study a master's degree. And then I applied for a position as process engineer in Hull. And I relocated to the UK and I started working at OSL Consulting Engineers, which is based in Hull, almost 7 years ago. So I have been able to work in a wide variety of projects with the organization, providing consultancy services in the energy industry, as well as having performed different technical and managerial roles within the organization. So what is the experience working in consultancy? It gives you the opportunity to solve engineering problems every day, to offer suitable solutions to clients. We're always working to find solutions for the future. So we are very keen to provide more energy for the world, whilst helping to design ways of reducing the environmental impact and that normally high energy intensive industries have. I am also the current chair of the Institution of Chemical Engineers in the Holland-Humber region, and I'm STEM ambassador and liaise with universities and attend career events and career talks and schools to trying to promote not only chemical engineering and consultancy services, but to encourage people to get into the energy industry and make them aware that a career in energy in the energy industry is really good and it's really positive, and there are a lot of different jobs that you can pursue into the industry. Now, what do we normally do as part of so the IChemE has different member groups around the country. We in this region, we have the IChemE Holland-Humber member groups, and this member group is filled up with members that are registered in the area. So we got close to 700 registered chemical engineers living in the Holland-Humber region or working in the Holland-Humber region. And the committee, we got now a committee of around 15 people that are supporting the different things that we do to try to encourage people to keep active with chemical engineering activities. So what we normally do as part of the committee and the member groups in general is organize technical presentations to show the different topics and areas of expertise chemical engineers can explore. We organize site visits to a variety of plants and industries we have in the region. And these site visits are not only organized for members, registered members, we also encourage students to attend to these visits. As long as you can register on our website, that's something that you can do as well. We promote chemical engineering in local schools. We provide professional networking opportunities for chemical engineers. And we also help to develop connections with engineers in the region. So we organize annual awards dinner as well, and trying to foster links with other relevant technical bodies as the IMechE, which is the Institution of Mechanical Engineers, or the Institution of Engineering Technology as well, and very strong links with the University of Hull. So now I'm going to pass it to my colleague Sash, that is going to talk about her career path as well.
Hello, thank you, Daniela. And thank you, WiME, for giving us this opportunity. My name is Sajri Dahal, and I'm currently a process engineer at AK International. One of the most common questions we get asked all the time when we do the school-age activities, or even my friends and family, is what do chemical engineers really do? And Daniel has done a great job at summarizing what we do, but my take on it is, we convert the raw materials, we use industrial processes to convert raw materials and turn them into valuable products. It's so simple. But at the heart of that is we need to ensure that the processes that we run or manage or operate is safe, because we do not want accidents, we do not want explosions. We need to ensure that the processes are robust, because at the end of the day, the processes need to deliver what it says in the tin. It needs to be flexible to different demands, and also it needs to be profitable, because bottom line is the processes, they need to make money for the business. Next slide, please. So in this slide, I'm going to spend some time talking about what I do every day as a chemical engineer at AK. And just to clear your confusion, I will be using the terms chemical engineer and process engineer interchangeably. For this, for this presentation, they are essentially the same, okay? So my current role involves providing technical support to the production team. That may include, looking into the breakdowns, looking into leading investigations, troubleshooting, or just, monitoring the process efficiency, production quality, so many different things. Another thing that I also am involved in is leading continuous improvement activities, and that could be margin improvement, making the process safer, and also a hot topic these days, which is the sustainability. So that means, looking into reducing waste or reducing consumption of electricity and things like that. So those are the two primary functions I tend to support working in a fast-paced manufacturing environment. Aside from that, I am also involved in supporting the production aspects of new product development. Very recently, I was involved in development of a premium chocolate ingredient called Cabello. And one of the fascinating things I found working in this industry is that the amount of science and engineering that goes into producing chocolate, it is absolutely marvelous. Something out of Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but it is absolutely marvelous. So aside from those three different topics that I've just touched on, I also am leading and I'm developing the first formal process apprentice development program here at AK, and working in partnership with HETA and also internal stakeholders. So as you've seen, Daniela and myself, we are both engineers, we're both chemical engineers, and our day-to-day is completely different, right? But at the heart of it, it essentially is using the same skills, our same technical skills, and as well as, in addition to that, is using your interpersonal skills to solve business problems. And that's what we do. It doesn't matter what sector you're in, you've got to be able to use your technical skills, and more importantly, dare I say, use your interpersonal skills to be a chemical engineer. So in this slide, I just want to speak about why I chose chemical engineering. So I want to take you back, way back to a beautiful country called Nepal, which is sandwiched between India and China. So that's where I'm from, and that's where I spent most of my childhood in as well. However, I was very lucky. Growing up, I did get a chance to spend some time in Hong Kong and Brunei and the UK. So what those experiences taught me is the stark difference, between growing up in a developing country versus a developed one, such as the UK. And you soon get, because of that contrast, you start appreciating the technology and the industries and things like that. And I've always taken a very keen interest in these topics, and just looking back, it sort of makes sense that how I have ended up in this industry and working as a process engineer. So my academic journey, I did something called the school leaving certificate from Nepal, which is equivalent to GCSEs here in the UK. And then I moved to UK and did A-levels in core sciences and mathematics. At the time, being completely honest with you, the reason for choosing sciences and maths was not because I wanted to be a chemical engineer or to be in engineering full stop. I just wanted a bit of flexibility because I had no clue where I wanted to go. So I thought those were very core subjects, and I could divert and pivot to different career paths if I wanted to in future. So this led me into obviously having to choose, for degree subjects. I personally always knew I wanted to go to university and degrees. So I was speaking with different people, career advisors at school, and obviously speaking to family friends and things like that. So it was actually my cousin who told me of chemical engineering. He was studying chemical engineering at the time, and he said that, what, why don't you look into this, because it pays very well, and you get to fulfill your curiosity about the energy and the manufacturing side of things, and and in addition to that, you actually don't even have to do chemical engineering, because the path for you is so diverse. I mean, worst case, if you don't like it, you can get into investment banking. So I thought, great, so I'm going to go to university, do a degree in chemical engineering, and then I'll end up working in investment banking. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I'll give it a shot. So that brings me to my university. I did bachelor's in chemical engineering with a year in industry, and I actually liked engineering, so much so that I went back into university and did a master's in biochemical engineering. So as you know, I had no clue what I wanted to do, but it was actually when I was at university, I started being involved in different activities that sort of started shaping me into this path where I am at today. One of the first things I did was I applied for this. There was an opportunity at my university. Um, on a biotechnology research program, which was at that point funded by BP. And I thought, wow, this sounds great. You know, let's give it a shot and let's see where it goes. And that was the turning point, shall I say, for myself, because when I was involved in that project, I thought, wow, this is amazing. You know, I'm you know, working with biological organisms, and at the same time I'm doing all this cool different modeling of the proteins, and this is really fascinating. So using that, I did a year in industry placement while still at university at a biofuels company called Vivergo Fuels. And to those of you local to the area, you must know that Vivergo Fuels is situated in Salt and Chemicals Park in Hull. And during my industrial placement, I was involved for most part of my placement involved in the continuous improvement team. And towards the end, I was asked to move on to the production to support the everyday production. And for me, these experiences were so key in cementing where I wanted to go essentially in future, because it exposed my understanding of what engineers do in industry. And when I was working in the industry, there were a few female engineers as well, and that was very encouraging to see that, because it made me feel like I am one of them, and that was a very good good opportunity I received. In addition to that, I also did a summer placement at a company called ExxonMobil based in Foley, and after that, I got a graduate job offer and worked as a production engineer in the same plant. After spending some time there, I realized that I missed Hull very much, and so I decided to move back to Hull. And currently, I'm a process engineer at AK, which is an edible oil refinery based in King's George Dock. So when I moved back to Hull, one of the first things I did was I joined the IChemE Hull and Humber members group. And one of the most important reasons for me was being able to network and and surround myself with like-minded people. And when I first started, I was so so happy, because IChemE Hull and Humber's members group is one of the most active members group in the area. I mean, like Daniel has already mentioned before, IChemE is very active in promoting engineering and STEM subjects in the area. Daniela and myself, we've also been involved in a few outreach programs and working with different organizations situated in this region. Additionally, in addition to that, IChemE has been fantastic because of the technical exchange. As a chemical engineer, you've got to understand that you don't have all the answers, so it's a continuously learning process, okay? And being part of this network really helps you to speak to the right individuals and therefore, enhance your learning. And last but not least, as well, having fun, okay? We tend to organize loads of social activities, loads of and annually organize a dinner event to bring all the chemical engineers in the area and and have fun as well. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shalul and Daniela. We've got quite a few questions, but we're also running out of time. So I think some of the confusion is, so the IChemE, one of the questions was, is the IChemE like RB? No, the IChemE is an organization where anybody who's a chemical engineer can belong to, wherever you are in the world. That's so right. It's not a company, it's a membership organization. Questions about how you apply for apprenticeship. Well, Tina will answer this one. I'm hoping I'm going to put her on the spot and say, Tina, can you unmute yourself and say apprenticeships, there's a certain way of applying for them? No?
Hi everyone. So yeah, you can if you're in Hull or East Riding, you can go to log on move on to search for courses and apprenticeships in chemical engineering. If you're on the South Bank, so if you're in Scunthorpe or Grimsby area, then you need to go onto the Links To or Links For You website, and I'll drop those websites in the chat area of the Zoom session, so people have got those links to go to directly.
Okay, perfect. Another question was, can you do an apprenticeship at AAK? So Sajalu, that's what you're developing now, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. We've got a program at the moment, and yes, in short, the answer is yes.
Okay, perfect. And they said about in the Humber, can you do chemical or biochemical engineering? Is it just in Hull, or is it throughout the Humber? You could do chemical and biochemical engineering in lots and lots of different firms. If you go onto the websites like Log On Move On, you will be able to find out lots of different companies take on chemical and biochemical engineers. So it's not just in Hull, that they're throughout the Humber, they're throughout the UK, they're throughout the world. And chemical engineer isn't just based on organic chemistry. It's a whole vast array of different engineering and different sciences, depending on which bit you specialize in. So thank you very much.
I would say that if you are interested to know more, there is a website that is called Why Not ChemEng. So there you got materials and trying to understand, what chemical engineering is. There are exercises there, things that how you apply, what universities offer chemical engineering, what requirements are. So any information that you need about chemical engineering, that's a very supportive website as well.
Perfect. Say the name again, Daniela, please.
Why Not ChemEng?
Why
Maybe
not
we can
ChemEng?
drop in a link.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.